Good morning. It's Don Taylor coming to you this 24th day of January 2023. It's just before 8 o'clock in the morning. This morning, this upload has to do with the title for it. It's going to be Fiery Kickoff Event to Usher in 3 Days of Darkness. My new friend Kimberly, she we connected up in the last couple of days, and she sent me a short version where she actually saw a ball of fire the size of the moon, where she was lifted up above the earth as the angel of the Lord came to her, and she was lifted up above the earth, and she has shown this impact that hit somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. She didn't see the 3 days in darkness, but she saw the start of it, the fiery event, and so I got back to her this morning on it and says, "Well, would you like to write this out? If you write, she's kind of hidden away. She's just coming out of her closet, and I'm just praying that she would write this out." And like the longer version of it, she was given very, specifics concerning what is coming. And the reason that she didn't see the 3 days of darkness, the 3 days of darkness is caused by the impact of this asteroid, right? And it'd be nice to be able to have her, to be able to get some of her work out and on my channel and on YouTube, and it's at hand. That's all I can say. That the 3 days of darkness is at hand. It is not, and Ephraim Rodriguez makes it very clear on a recent video. It's only a 10-minute video that he put out, that the three days of darkness is not a wormwood. It's not part of the book of Revelations. It's not the wormwood deep impact event. That is a separate event. And to usher in a time of chastisement over the world. And we know that he makes it very clear. This is what he saw, that the powers to be, they know it's coming. They're watching it. If you listen to Mike from around the world on Pastor Paul Begley's Thursday night podcast, if you listen closely with your ears, that Mike from around the world gives you clues as to when things are going to happen, right? And he mentioned something about 3 moons. And I just, another brother this morning let me know that there's another lady, I need to check into it, a prophetess. She saw that the 3 days of darkness will happen on April 7th of some year. I'm not saying that it is, but it was quite amazing this morning that at 6:06, I woke up this morning and I just had, I was experiencing the 3 days of darkness. So I was taken into the future, and I was here in this place here when it took place, and I was given instructions, and people were following the instructions that I in the dream vision, right? And so the Lord put it in my heart to get the word out here, right, to this community of Boston Bar, North Bend, and so I'm going to make up a little poster. The Lord's given me a gift for doing stuff like this. That could be put up on bulletin boards anywhere and everywhere, throughout Canada, United States. The posters could go out on different bulletin boards preparing the people. So I can make up the master copy for this. And so, if you're aware of the 3 days of darkness, then you're obligated to be a watchman on the wall. You're obligated to warn the people in your community, whether they listen or whether they don't listen, that if you don't, then their blood will be on your hands. And there's going to be a lot of death and a lot of destruction, a lot of collateral damage when the 3 days of darkness comes. So this poster, it shouldn't take all that long to do it. And basically, it's going to be built off of the 10-minute video that Efrain Rodriguez recently put out about a 15, like the powers to be, they are tracking this in real time. Mike from around the world was saying that there will be a deep impact event that they expect at some point this year. He never gave the specifics, but he said it's going to be catastrophic, that millions of lives will be affected. All right. And this morning when I got up, the Lord gave me further instructions to fast track the plans for the building the places of refuge. The plans are quite simple. Back in the summer of 1988, the Lord gave me my first project to do, and at the time was felt led to. I heard about the blessed areas through David Terrell, God's prophet to the world. And that inspired me to begin to engineer plans for the blessed areas, right? And so that summer, I spent about maybe several months drawing these plans on on the wall, but I didn't have a drafting board big enough. And anyway, it turned out to be about a 6-foot plan drawing. And then the Lord instructed me, and right at the end of it, an acronym came to me, a name came to me. I seen the first two letters. And they were D and A, and I knew it stood for diversified approach. Then I asked the Lord, what's the rest of the acronym? And he said, well, you go find it out for yourself. There's a dictionary there. In 10 minutes, I had the full name, and it was called Project David, and it stands for a diversified approach visualizing isometric dwelling. And since then, I've been working on those plans. And a couple of years ago, the Lord gave me the geometric layout for developing the Archship communities, which incorporates these Goshen camps, right? And so I'll be bringing that out. So the plans for building the places of refuge are really simple. They're short, precise, approximately 3 pages in length. But the condensed version, the expanded version, will be a little bit longer, and because it shows you how to geometrically lay it out, and because it is composed of sacred geometry, right? So it's not like you're having to put a road down here and you put buildings off to the side. It's not going to work like that. Those plans are not going to work. It has to be an expanding geometric concept, right? But anyway, in this dream this morning, I woke up. It was 6:06 in the morning. Like an SOS call. And in the dream, I was here, and it seemed like that people were carrying out the instructions that I was posting. The people here were not in a panic, and there's going to be a little bit of panic, but as we get the word out to give people a heads up, that's basically what the dream was about. That the Lord used me as an instrument to get the word out, to give people a heads up that this time is approaching, and to be ready for it when it comes. And so that God can be glorified, right? But from what Efrain Rodriguez is saying, he's saying that the world is preparing for a 15-month lockdown. And in Puerto Rico, they got millions of coffins and body bags set aside. They know that this is going to happen. In 2015, when Efrain Rodriguez was instructed by the Lord to get this word out concerning the asteroid impact, it was only after 3 times that NASA took him seriously, because the Lord gave him the actual coordinates of where this asteroid was inbound. And once they verified it, then all the nations in the world that began to get their missiles and all that in place to try to destroy it. when it comes in. But the Lord gave him further instructions saying, don't try to take out this asteroid uh, prior to, because it's going to cause more damage. Anyway, from other reports that other people have seen, that this asteroid is going to uh, pop out of nowhere. It's just going to pop out of space. Uh, there won't be enough advance warning to shoot it down, right? They, I know they already have weapons platforms in space. They might get off some hits, but it's going to hit where it's going to hit, right? And the death toll of the bell from that point on, the Lord gave a prophecy years back concerning the death toll of the bell. So when that asteroid impact hits, the death toll of the bell will begin to sound, right? So I'm just one of many out there that God's been working with for the past 40 years, that each, the 3 days of darkness has to do with the unveiling of Revelations 12:5, where the man-child is caught up to the Lord in heavenly places, caught up to the throne of God, given the instructions concerning their destinies on the earth, and where they're empowered to walk out their destinies, right, and to go forth to do great exploits for the Lord. So each son or daughter that's part of this manifest company has a job to do, and independently, and that all the pieces work together. That's the times that we're coming into. My job is for all of us right now is to get the word out as a watchman, right? We're all watchmen. We're all called to warn of things coming upon the earth. So I'll be making up this flyer. I can get it out to you as a Word document that you can download, that you can print off, that you get put up physical postings at your local store, library, restaurant, whatever, and also to upload them to various internet boards where you can put stuff up. You see what I'm saying? And whether they listen or whether they don't, that is not our job to be concerned about it. We're just to get the word out and to do it in such a manner where God is glorified in it, right? Not to create panic, not to create fear, and to let people know that you're the only true recourse when the 3 days of darkness happens, that you need to have your heart ready, right? Because this is a time that the gates of hell are going to be opened up when this asteroid hits Puerto Rico, causing the earth to stand still for a 72-hour period. And my new friend Kimberly, she was showing this. She was showing that the magnetics of the earth, that the magnetosphere is going to shake and quiver, and the shields are going to go down for a 72-hour period. That's going to open up the spiritual gateways. She has a lot of stuff to share, and so I'm being gentle with her and getting her to write out what the Lord has showed her, so what she has can be presented to the world, and through this YouTube channel here, I'll be releasing her information. All right, and whether Stan Johnson is going to pick up on it, that's in the Lord's hands. And concerning the Prophecy Club, it'd be good that he does. But at least I can do some preliminary work here to encourage her to write out what the Lord showed her. And she's a Native American, and it comes from a family of seers, right? And but she's kind of hidden away, and it was just a few days ago few days ago or so when I posted concerning the 3 days of darkness that a friend of hers actually did a copy paste, sent it to her, and says, well, really need to talk to this guy. Or listen to him, what he has to say. And that's how we met. And this within all this happened with him in the last 72 hours, right? And so this 3 days, this darkness dream that I had, I didn't just see it, I was in it and I was experiencing it. I was here in this place here when it went down. And I knew by the Spirit that other people were in place, that they were ready for the event. And because if it comes upon you when the sun goes down at noon, there's going to be a lot of shock. There's going to be a lot of people who are not going to have their houses prepared for this time, right? And it's not a Catholic doctrine. It's part of Revelations. It's part of Isaiah, where Isaiah talks about, God's going to turn the earth upside down, where that God says because America has divided Israel, that God's going to divide America. And it's that event that's going to usher in, when that asteroid impact hits the Puerto Rico Trench, it causes the America to be split in two. Not eventually that split, that the Mississippi River is going to be 100 miles wide, but not right away. So when this impact comes, that the Mississippi River is going to dry up. That fracture is going to suck all the water out, and that's the beginning of the judgment. Lots of things to prepare for, and so when the 3 days of darkness comes and goes, that this will be a time of global preparation to basically collect, to start over again, right? The world as we know it's going to change. And my friend Kimberly, she also saw that Donald Trump was president when the 3 days of darkness takes place. And so it'd be interesting to be able to post and for her to share, for Kimberly to share what the Lord has shown her, to get it out to you people out there, because it's all relevant. We all have a part to play in this. And I'm just one part. Kimberly's just one part. Art is one part. Who wrote the State of the Art book, where God used him to where he was raised from the dead from a cocaine overdose. God used him to raise his friend. I forget his friend's name. It was an older man. They were at Tim Hortons, actually. I think it was Tim Hortons or something like that. Inside having coffee. And Art went to use the restroom and came back, and his friend was collapsed at the table. He was dead. When you're dead, you're dead. And it's obvious. There's no life in his body. So they called the ambulance, and the Lord spoke to him. That's a special connection that God has with Art. And it says, Art, lay your hands on him, and I'll raise him up. And when he did that, he felt the power of God go through him like electrical voltage. And his friend got up, and water was just streaming off his fingers, right? And his friend said, well, I've been somewhere, haven't I? He says, yeah, you were dead. God raised you back to life. And that's a story for, maybe Art will share that story. He just came in from out of province last night. And he's staying with me for a few days. And it'd be nice to be able to use this opportunity for him to share on YouTube and Facebook Live. So I'm going to leave it here. God bless you all. Any comments are welcome. I've been responding to to you guys on the YouTube upload. I appreciate the new people that are coming to my site. I got, I think I had about 25 new people register in the last week. Is good because I have about 550 subscribers now. I'm hoping to be able to hit 1,000, so where I could actually do YouTube Live, right? But it's good this way where I could actually pre-record and get it out. But at some point, to be able to do the live presentations. So that about wraps it up. You know, the 3 days of darkness is coming. It is not a wormwood event. It is a chastisement event, according to what the Lord showed Ephraim Rodriguez, right, 2015, and all the signs point to that it's on the way. and what the Lord has shown me this morning, that most people will not be prepared for the 3 days of darkness because they're going to think that it's a revelation event. My friend Joel, that I just called there and shared with a few days ago, he's saying, Josh, it's not going to happen. That's God's judgment way in the future. Really? That's not what the Lord showed Ephraim Rodriguez. And it's going to come at a time where you're not ready, right? So the three days of darkness is the revelation of Jesus Christ in the earth. Sound like art's up, and I'm going to leave it here. God bless you all.